Good morning and welcome to Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide. I'm so incredibly blessed that you decided to join me. If you are someone that's in overflow from Morning Stir with Yolanda Worldwide, I'm so glad you've decided to read through the Bible with me again. We did this in 2024, and I am reading through the Bible in the Message version in 2025. And I look forward to those who are going to get to say by the end of this year, I read through the entire Bible. As I'm getting ready to jump in, I want to say to anyone who's joining me as a brand new person, I'm so glad that you're here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button right now and enable your notifications by clicking on the little bell. For anyone who is joining the premiere live, I'm so glad that you're here. Number one, for those of you who are regulars, you know what to do. Go ahead and greet me in whatever way you do in your part of the world in the chat. Number two, go ahead and let me know where in the world you're joining in from. Number three, help me by clicking the little thumbs up on the screen. Number four, help me by sharing this broadcast far and wide. And number five, if you are excited about reading through the Bible with me, go ahead and tell me also in the chat, let's read the Bible. Something, just write something and let me know your excitement on that. But we're going to dive in. These broadcasts are these premieres of Through the Bible are going to be short by design. Just to let you know, we're going to be reading about 20 minutes together each day. And we're going to stop there so that you'll have enough time. You can just do it in a setting. You can use this for your devotion time and it won't seem too taxing or too overwhelming. But we are going to get through the Bible by the end of this year. So if you're ready, I say, let's dive in. Let me pull up. We're going to be reading this time through. We're going to be reading from Genesis to Revelation. If you were with me for Morning Stir when we read through the Bible, we read in different parts and pockets. But for the sake of this time through, we are going to be reading from the beginning to the end of the Bible. I hope you're ready. We're going to dive straight in. Let's do it. Genesis chapter 1. And let me just give a disclaimer. Don't hold it against me with the names. We're going to do the best we can, but we're going to read through every single word, even the names we have to stumble through. Amen. Blessings to you. Genesis chapter 1. First, this God created the heavens and earth. All you see, all you don't see. Earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, and inky blackness. God's spirit brooded like a bird above the watery abyss. God spoke, light, and light appeared. God saw that light was good and separated light from dark. God named the light day, he named the dark night. It was evening, it was morning, day one. God spoke, sky in the middle of the waters, separate water from water. God made sky. He separated the water under sky from the water above sky. And there it was. He named the sky the heavens. It was evening. It was morning, day two. God spoke, separate water beneath heaven, gather into one place, land appear. And there it was. God named the land earth. He named the pool water, ocean. God saw that it was good. God spoke, earth, green up, grow all varieties of seed bearing plants, every sort of fruit bearing tree. And there it was. Earth produced green seed bearing plants, all varieties, and fruit bearing trees of all sorts. God saw that it was good. It was evening. It was morning, day three. God spoke, lights come out, shine in heaven's sky, separate day from night, mark seasons and days and years, lights in heaven's sky. to give light to earth. And there it was. God made two big lights, the larger to take charge of the day, the smaller to be in charge of night. And he made the stars. God placed them in the heavenly sky to light up earth and oversee day and night, to separate light and dark. God saw that it was good. It was evening. It was morning, day 4. God spoke, swarm ocean with fish and all sea life. Birds fly through the sky over earth. God created the huge whales, all the swarm of life in the waters, and every kind of species of flying birds. God saw that it was good. God blessed them, prosper, reproduce, fill ocean, birds reproduce on earth. It was evening. It was morning, day 5. God spoke, earth, generate life, every sort and kind, cattle and reptiles and wild animals, all kinds. And there it was, wild animals of every kind, cattle of all kinds, every sort of reptile and bug. God saw that it was good. God spoke, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of earth. God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. He created them male and female. God blessed them. Prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, take charge, be responsible for fish in the sea and birds in the air, for every living thing that moves on the face of the earth. Then God said, I've given you every sort of seed bearing plant on earth and every kind of fruit bearing tree, given them to you for food, to all animals and all birds, everything that moves and breathes. I give whatever grows out of the ground for food. And there it was. God looked over everything he had made. It was so good, so very good. It was evening, it was morning, day 6. Chapter 2. Heaven and earth were finished down to the last detail. By the seventh day, God had finished his work. On the seventh day, he rested from all his work. God blessed the seventh day. He made it a holy day because on that day, he rested from his work, all the creating God had done. This is the story of how it all started, of heaven and earth when they were created. At the time, God made earth and heaven. Before any grasses or shrubs had sprouted from the ground, God hadn't yet sent rain on earth, nor was there anyone around to work the ground. The whole earth was watered by underground springs. God formed man out of dirt from the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. The man came alive, a living soul. Then God planted a garden in Eden in the east. He put the man he had just made in it. God made all kinds of trees grow from the ground, trees beautiful to look at and good to eat. The tree of life was in the middle of the garden, also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flows out of Eden to water the garden, and from there divides into 4 rivers. The first is named Pishon. It flows through Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of this land is good. The land is also known for a sweet scented resin and the onyx stone. The second river is named Gihon. It flows through the land of Cush. The third river is named Hiddekel and flows east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. God took the man and set him down in the Garden of Eden to work the ground and keep it in order. God commanded the man, You can eat from any tree in the garden except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from it. The moment you eat from that tree, you're dead. God said it's not good for the man to be alone. I'll make him a helper, a companion. So God formed from the dirt of the ground all the animals of the field and all the birds of the air. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. Whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. The man named the cattle, named the birds of the air, named the wild animals, but he didn't find a suitable companion. God put the man into a deep sleep. As he slept, he removed one of his ribs and replaced it with flesh. God then used the rib that he had taken from the man to make woman and presented her to the man. The man said, finally, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Name her woman, for she was made from man. Therefore, a man leaves his father and mother and embraces his wife. They become one flesh. The two of them, the man and his wife, were naked, but they felt no shame. Chapter 3. The serpent was clever, more clever than any wild animal God had made. He spoke to the woman, do I understand that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, not at all. We can eat from the trees in the garden. It's only about the tree in the middle of the garden that God said, don't eat from it. Don't even touch it or you'll die. The serpent told the woman, you won't die. God knows that the moment you eat from that tree, you'll see what's really going on. You'll be just like God, knowing everything ranging all the way from good to evil. When the woman saw that the tree looked like good eating and realized what she would get out of it, she'd know everything. She took and ate the fruit and then gave some to her husband, and he ate. Immediately, the two of them did see what's really going on, saw themselves naked. They sewed fig leaves together as makeshift clothes for themselves. When they heard the sound of God strolling in the garden in the evening breeze, the man and his wife hid in the trees of the garden, hid from God. God called the man, where are you? He said, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid. God said, who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree I told you not to eat from? The man said, the woman you gave me as a companion, she gave me fruit from the tree, and yes, I ate it. God said to the woman, what is this that you've done? The serpent seduced me, she said, and I ate. God told the serpent, because you've done this, you're cursed, cursed beyond all cattle and wild animals, cursed to slink on your belly and eat dirt all your life. I'm declaring war between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He'll wound your head, you'll wound his heel. He told the woman, I'll multiply your pains in childbirth. You give birth to your babies in pain. You'll want to please your husband, but he'll lord it over you. He told the man, because you listened to your wife and ate from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from. Don't eat from this tree. The very ground is cursed because of you. Getting food from the ground will be as painful as having babies is for your wife. You'll be working in pain all your life long. Pardon me. The ground will sprout thorns and weeds. You get your food the hard way, planting and tilling and harvesting, sweating in the fields from dawn to dusk, until you return to the ground yourself, dead and buried. You started out as dirt, you'll end up dirt. The man known as Adam named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all the living. God made leather clothing for Adam and his wife and dressed them. God said, the man has become like one of us, capable of knowing everything, ranging from good to evil. What if he now should reach out and take fruit from the tree of life and eat and live forever? Never. This cannot happen. So God expelled them from the Garden of Eden and sent them to work the ground at the same dirt out of which they'd been made. He threw them out of the garden and stationed angel cherubim and a revolving sword of fire east of it, guarding the path to the tree of life. Chapter 4. Adam slept with Eve, his wife. She conceived and had Cain. She said, I've gotten a man with God's help. Then she had another baby, Abel. Abel was a herdsman and Cain a farmer. Time passed. Cain brought an offering to God from the produce of his farm. Abel also brought an offering, but from the firstborn animals of his herd, choice cuts of meat. God liked Abel and his offering. But Cain and his offering didn't get his approval. Cain lost his temper and went into a sulk. God spoke to Cain, why this tantrum? Why the sulking? If you do well, won't you be accepted? And if you don't do well, sin is lying in wait for you, ready to pounce. It's out to get you. You've got to master it. Cain had words with his brother. They were out in the field. Cain came at Abel, his brother, and killed him. God said to Cain, where is Abel, your brother? He said, how should I know? Am I his babysitter? God said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is calling to me from the ground. From now on, you get nothing but curses up from this ground. You'll be driven from this ground that has opened its arms to receive the blood of your murdered brother. You farm this ground, but it will no longer give you its best. You'll be a homeless wanderer on earth. Cain said to God, my punishment is too much. I can't take it. You've thrown me off the land, and I can never again face you. I am a homeless wanderer on earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. God told him, no, anyone who kills Cain will pay for it 7 times over. God put a mark on Cain to protect him so that no one who met him would kill him. Cain left the presence of God and lived in no man's land, east of Eden. Cain slept with his wife. She conceived and had Enoch. He then built a city and named it after his son, Enoch. Enoch had Irad. Irad had Mehujael. Mehujael had Methusiel. Methusiel had Lamech. Lamech married 2 wives, Ada and Zillah. Ada gave birth to Jabal, the ancestor of all who live in tents and herd cattle. His brother's name was Jabal, the ancestor of all who play the lyre and flute. Zillah gave birth to Tubal Cain, who worked at the forge, making bronze and iron tools. Tubal Cain's sister was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, listen to me. You wives of Lamech, hear me out. I killed a man for wounding me, a young man who attacked me. If Cain is avenged 7 times, for Lamech it's 77. And Adam slept with his wife again. She had a son whom she named Seth. She said, God has given me another child in place of Abel, whom Cain killed. And then Seth had a son whom he named Enosh. That's when men and women began praying and worshiping in the name of God. Chapter 5. This is the family tree of the human race. When God created the human race, he made it godlike, with a nature akin to God. He created both male and female and blessed them, the whole human race. When Adam was 130 years old, he had a son who was just like him, his very spirit and image, and named him Seth. After the birth of Seth, Adam lived another 800 years, having more sons and daughters. Adam lived a total of 930 years and he died. When Seth was 105 years old, he had Enosh. After Seth had Enosh, he lived another 807 years, having more sons and daughters. Seth lived a total of 912 years and he died. When Enosh was 90 years old, he had Kenan. After he had Kenan, he lived another 815 years, having more sons and daughters. Enosh lived a total of 905 years and he died. When Kenan was 70 years old, he had Mahalalel. After he had Mahalalel, he lived another 840 years, having more sons and daughters. Kenan lived a total of 910 years and he died. When Mahalalel was 65 years old, he had Jared. After he had Jared, he lived another 830 years, having more sons and daughters. Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, and he died. When Jared was 162 years old, he had Enoch. After he had Enoch, he lived another 800 years, having more sons and daughters. Jared lived a total of 962 years and he died. When Enoch was 65 years old, he had Methuselah. Enoch walked steadily with God. After he had Methuselah, he lived another 300 years, having more sons and daughters. Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked steadily with God, and then one day he was simply gone. God took him. When Methuselah was 187 years old, he had Lamech. After he had Lamech, he lived another 782 years. Methuselah lived a total of 969 years and he died. When Lamech was 182 years old, he had a son. He named him Noah, saying, "This one will give us a break from the hard work of farming the ground that God cursed." After Lamech had Noah, he lived another 595 years, having more sons and daughters. Lamech lived a total of 777 years and he died. When Noah was 500 years old, he had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Chapter 6, our final chapter we'll read today. When the human race began to increase with more and more daughters being born, the sons of God noticed that the daughters of men were beautiful. They looked them over and picked out wives for themselves. Then God said, "I'm not going to breathe life into men and women endlessly. Eventually, they're going to die. From now on, they can expect to live a span of 120 years. This was back in the days, and also later, when there were giants in the land. The giants came from the union of the sons of God and the daughters of men. These were the mighty men of ancient lore, the famous ones. God saw that human evil was out of control. People thought evil, imagined evil, evil from morning to night. God was sorry that he made the human race in the first place. It broke his heart. God said, "I'll get rid of my ruined creation, make a clean sweep, people, animals, snakes, and bugs, birds, the works. I'm sorry I made them." But Noah was different. God liked what he saw in Noah. This is the story of Noah. Noah was a good man, a man of integrity in his community. Noah walked with God. Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. As far as God was concerned, the earth had become a sower. There was violence everywhere. God took one look and saw how bad it was. Everyone corrupt and corrupting. Life itself corrupt to the core. God said to Noah, "It's all over. It's the end of the human race. The violence is everywhere. I'm making a clean sweep. Build yourself a ship of teak wood. Make rooms in it. Coat it with pitch inside and out. Make it 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Build a roof for it and put it in a window 18 inches from the top. Put it in a door on the side of the ship and make 3 decks, lower, middle, and upper. I'm going to bring a flood on the earth that will destroy everything alive under heaven, total destruction. But I'm going to establish a covenant with you. You board the ship, and your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives will come on board with you. You are also to take 2 of each living creature, a male and a female, on board the ship to preserve their lives with you. 2 of every species of bird, mammal, and reptile. 2 of everything, so as to preserve their lives along with yours. Also, get all the food you'll need and store it up for you and them. Noah did everything God commanded him to do. My God. Noah did everything God commanded him to do. That was Genesis chapters 1 through 6. I will pick up where we left off at tomorrow. I greet you in the name of Jesus. If by chance you jumped on this and you didn't get a chance to watch Morning Stir for this morning, you can definitely go into the live videos and find that. Otherwise, let's read through the Bible. See you tomorrow, and we'll continue on. Blessings. Have an amazing, amazing day.